Chris, you pointed out earlier, a 27-foot gap between cars on this high-speed race course.
9 meters. It's actually 29 feet. It's more than the length of a car, almost 2 car lengths. It's quite a bit to overcome.
Okay, listen for the sound of the engines. Red light. We're underway, and Mansell has a problem at the start. Nigel Mansell on the outside. His cars bunch up behind him. Has made a terrible start, and cars are now pressed along the wall. It looks like one of the Tyrrells again. And we have another incredible crash here at the Österreich ring. Another 5 cars involved. Oh, no, one of the Zach Speeds to the right. It looks like another of the Ligers. In the middle, one of the Tyrrells again. That is Streff getting out of his car that was just put back together.
It's Pascal Fabre in the Charot car, the AGS.
To the right is the March.
Unbelievable.
Of Capelli, and to the left we saw, is that Martin Brundle? Oh, another tremendous crash.
What happened this time was Mansell's car couldn't get off the mark. It was either spinning wheels or something happened, and they were up front. The last accident happened at the back of the pack. It involved only a few cars. This is a massive crack up there, and it almost was missed, but one of the drivers in the back tried to take advantage of the other car slowing down and catapulted into the wreckage here.
And of course, at the back of the mind of every Formula One fan is the fact that these cars are fully fueled. There's a tremendous amount of incendiary material in these race cars, but thankfully no fires. An awful lot of bent machinery, though.
Oh.
Well, Chris, we'll have to go back to the record book, see if there's ever been a Formula One race that has been stopped twice. We have a replay now. Let's take another look at what happened at the attempt to restart the Austrian Grand Prix. There is Nigel Mansell at the center of your screen, and you see the cars bunching up behind him.
Squeezing him in. They're getting squeezed into the pit wall there.
One of the Brabhams right alongside Nigel, and behind him, oh, chaos at the back. His car spinning.
Mansell's car finally took hold after a while and started to pull out.
This is in replay once again. You see some of the cars stopped, perhaps just to avoid getting into the race cars. Now, on the scene are emergency vehicles, but we've seen no sign yet that any of the drivers is hurt to any degree. I thought I saw them all climb out.
Right, but I think the cars are damaged to a much greater degree than on the first one, because they're piled on top of one another down there on the main straightaway. And we're going to get this race off late, of course, and with a very, very short field, I'm sure. 26 cars came to the line, both for the original start.
Excuse me, Chris, let's get down to John Bisignano on the scene.
Well, it's not a very pretty sight down here. Many Formula One cars now in pieces. You have the USF&G car. This is the car that Eddie Cheever was starting in, the T car. We don't know if his race car is going to be able to take the start because they were repairing the electrics on it. Behind them, of course, you have Stefan Johansson, who hit the deer today. On Friday, excuse me, he hit the deer. Now he's gone into the pit wall, plus into the back of Cheever. We see the March, we see the AGS. We have the Ligier from France is right back over my other shoulder. It is now being picked up by one of the huge cranes. Everyone down here, of course, is getting a little tired of this. The drivers, you can actually see it in their faces. They are beginning to get a little spooked by all of this, seriously. The man we talked to from France just a moment ago, who was nervous about the first start, he looked at me and he says, we're not going to ask us to do this again. But it's going to be 3 starts in Austria. I don't know what the officials are going to try and do to get it a safe one. Back to you, Bob.
All right, John and folks, you might be watching history. I don't know that any Grand Prix has ever had 3 starts. There you see one of the Ligers. I don't quite make out the number on it there on the nose. It would be either Genzani or René Arnoux, and you see fluid leaking out from under. And it looks like that one is totally immobile. They're going to have to take the wrecker and drop it on that flatbed truck to the rear. What a weekend it's been for Stefan Johansson, hitting a deer on Friday and totaling that car, damaging his ribs and his collarbone. And now they flew another race car in, assembled it overnight to get him ready to race. And now, in the second attempted restart, they have knocked Johansson out of the race as well. We'll be back to Austria in a moment.